Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
One Danville business owner takes security precautions to a whole new level. You'll be hearing from her coming up next.
An investigation is underway in Louisville this morning after a man was found dead in a septic tank.
And police in Irvine cracking down on drugs after a 2-month-long investigation. Those stories and more, breaking news as it happens. And, of course, weather for the weekend coming up on WKYT This Morning. Hey, good morning to you and welcome bright and early, or dark and early, here on your Friday. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Thanks so much for being here. For the first track on the weather, let's turn to meteorologist Micah Harris.
We are in the 50s and 60s this morning, so we are getting that mild air kind of moving on in. And it begins with today. As we go toward the afternoon, we're right there in the lower 80s for most. Heading in toward the weekend, that's the same story, except we'll bring a little rain toward the weekend. It's not much, but it's there. 54 degrees there in Mount Sterling. Frankfort coming out at 54 degrees, and you work southbound. We're there in the 60s, 61 now in Somerset. There is your look across the region. Things are pretty good on the roadways. Nobody's out there, so that's always good news. 80 degrees this afternoon, and also looking for mostly sunny skies. Look, we're going to hold on to that for the next 48 hours. Then as we go late into the weekend, that's when a few changes come. They're not big changes, but, you know, they're there. I'll show you that forecast coming up.
Okay, we'll see you in just a bit, Mike, and we thank you. And let's get to the news.
There are still no arrests nearly 2 weeks after a shooting injured a Central Kentucky restaurant employee.
Police made another call for tips on Thursday in the robbery attempt that injured 20-year-old Zoe Reed. As that case goes unsolved, store owners in the area are making sure to protect their businesses. WKYT's Jordan Valines introduces us to one of them.
Right off of busy US 127 sits the Hill of Beans BP gas station,
I can get you out here, buddy.
where locals often stop by
Thanks. Have a good day.
to pick up some home-style cooking
Baked potato salad here. This should be, just got to add some more sauce to it.
and to say hello to the familiar faces behind the counter.
How you doing, buddy? Good, how are you? Good. That's all we need to do.
But don't mistake their friendliness for foolishness. Co-owner Michelle Wilkins is well aware that stores like hers are frequently targeted by thieves.
With everything that's been going on, every time I turn the news on, there's something, and then the things that just are a little more close to home now.
Last week, just down the road from the gas station, a Domino's Pizza employee was shot while working, which is exactly why Wilkins uses extra safety precautions, even carrying her 9mm gun at work.
But, you know, they'll say, like, I don't blame you for wearing that. Everything that's going on this day and time.
While most convenience stores have 1, maybe 2 security cameras, this one has 16. Wilkins tells us not everyone approves of her safety precautions, but at the end of the day, she says she's just doing whatever it takes to protect herself and her family. In Danville, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
And Michelle Wilkins' safety precautions seem to be paying off. In the past 3 years, no problems have happened at her store. Lexington police are investigating an overnight theft at a drive-in this morning. It happened last night around 11 o'clock at the Sonic Drive-In on New Circle. Investigators believe a masked man opened an unattended drive-through window and stole cash from a register there. Police say an employee was not at the window at the time, so they are not classifying the theft as a robbery. So far, they have made no arrests in the case.
A suspect shot during an attempted robbery has died. The Fayette County coroner says 20-year-old David Marshall died Thursday morning at UK Hospital. Winchester police say the owner of the 96 truck stop fired at Marshall and Curtis Wilkinson when they tried to rob him Tuesday morning. Police say the pair also robbed a taxi driver on Monday. In an interview from jail, Wilkinson told us he's innocent of both crimes. Louisville police are investigating a death in a septic tank. Louisville police received a call at about 6 o'clock last night from a homeowner who said he found the body. The coroner pronounced him dead at the scene. Louisville police are calling in a death investigation. There are no signs of foul play. Investigators say the man was a self-employed contractor. His name has not been released. Lexington police are looking for suspects after they say a man was intentionally hit by a car. Happened about 10:30 last night on Highland Parkway. Investigators say 2 men were having an argument which led one of them hitting the other with a car intentionally. The victim was taken to UK Hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. Police say they're still looking for the suspect but think he's driving a gold or tan Nissan Altima.
Police responded to a report of shots fired at a Lexington apartment complex last night. Police tell us the shots were fired during a burglary or robbery on Jennifer Road off Eastland Parkway. Police are looking for suspects now. They say it's possible one was hit by gunfire.
Investigators in western Kentucky spent the day searching for a fugitive armed and dangerous. That's what he's considered to be. State police spotted this man in Bowling Green just after midnight Thursday, but he got away. He checked into a hotel after running from police, but was gone by 9:30 in the morning. He's wanted in a homicide investigation in Pennsylvania, but not the one, of course, making national headlines the last 2 weeks.
Pretty certain to say he's not the subject there in Pennsylvania that is wanted for the murder of 2 Pennsylvania state troopers.
Okay. Warren County schools are on lockdown because of the search. As of this morning, the Bowling Green Police Department has not found the suspect. Police have charged a Lexington father with abuse after they say he shook his 4-month-old daughter. According to an arrest citation, 27-year-old Darnell Tagaloa shook the baby because she would not stop crying. We're told the infant suffered severe head injuries. We talked to the Lexington organization called The Nest. They say the case is upsetting and didn't have to end this way.
You know, we offer free child care, so if you need a break, all you have to do is just call us, and no matter what, we are going to make spots.
Tagaloa pleaded not guilty in court Thursday.
4:36 now on WKYT this morning. A 2-month investigation in Irvin has ended with nearly 30 people in jail. Police say they still have more arrests to make after cracking down on drug trafficking in the area. WKYT's Garrett Weimer has more on what folks in Estill County say has been a problem for many years.
In the quiet city of Irvin, it was a busy morning for police, making 28 arrests, police say, on drug charges like possession and trafficking. That includes a charge of drug trafficking within 1,000 feet of a school. This one, Estill Springs Elementary.
With drug trafficking, with drug use usually comes criminal activity, and that's something we definitely don't want around our schools.
Folks I talked to here in Irvin say drugs have been a problem here for years. In fact, the first man I spoke to told me he himself had at one point been arrested for drug trafficking. Another man says he's not surprised by the drug problem because there's little else for people, especially kids, to do.
Listen, I mean, you ain't got nothing. You ain't got a theater, no putt-putt. There's nothing else to do. Look around it. Look at there. Everything down through there. For sale, for sale, for rent, for rent.
Police Chief Brad Smith says he thinks the problem is just more visible in a small town like Irvin, but he realizes there's still work to do when it comes to drugs in the area.
We could have went out today and arrested 100 and it would have been a ripple in the water. So it is an ongoing battle, and it's something that we take serious, and we look forward to continuing that.
In Estill County, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Continuing challenges there. Irvin police say they still have 3 arrests to make in this roundup, and they say they'll likely make a 4th after more investigation. If you have any used or unwanted medications around your home, now is the time to get rid of it. Lexington will host a mid-toss tomorrow. You can drop off expired or unused medications at Kentucky American Water on Richmond Road between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. It's one of many drug take-back events being held across the state and country tomorrow for the DEA National Take Back Initiative.
We're tracking the search for vandals who damaged a former school building. Those vandals broke out windows at the old Whitesburg High School, spilled paint inside, and left behind vulgar graffiti. While the school's been closed since 2004, the superintendent says it will still cost the district money. The building does have surveillance cameras, but they aren't working since there's no electricity. Police are investigating after a Bryan Station High School student says a man she didn't know approached her on the way to school. The Herald-Leader reports school leaders sent a letter home with students saying that a man in a white truck offered the girl a ride as she walked to school near Bryan Avenue and some other avenue this morning. We'll try to get back to you on that one. She ran to a nearby Walgreens where an employee let her inside. According to the letter, police will increase patrols in the area. So sorry, we'll try to get back to you. I think that's correct.
I think Arkeem's right.
Okay, Arkeem.
All right, time this morning is rolling toward 4:40, 20 till 5 on WKYT this morning. Good to have you along with us on your Friday as we get rolling.
Mom and Dad both need to be involved in your child's education. Moms Every Day explains why it's so important after the break.
Feels pretty good outside this morning. Not really cold at all. We head toward the afternoon. We're going to see warmer conditions and even 80s all over the forecast. That comes up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris and First Alert Defender.
Looking outside this morning, this is your 5th consecutive morning where we have had, beautiful, beautiful conditions. And it actually feels much better this morning than the past several mornings due to the fact we're in the 50s and 60s rather than those 40s we've been dealing with. So there you go. Frankfort Cam, you can see all is well. Very quiet this morning there in Franklin County. We're at 54 there in Mount Sterling, 57 Richmond. As you work your way southbound, even some 60s, lower 60s. 63 there in Jackson. So we are getting warmer, not just by the afternoons, but by the mornings too. As you see Harlan coming out at 59 degrees. Go toward the afternoon, right around 80 degrees. It's fairly warm for this time of year. I mean, typically we're around 75. And you see we're going to be right there at noontime at 75 degrees. So when you see that, you know it's going to be a fairly warm afternoon. For football later on this evening, looks great. It's one of those evenings you won't need a coat, that's for sure. But maybe a long sleeve if you're one of those that gets a little bit cool once that sun sets. Other than that, I think most of us can go out there with shorts and a short sleeve shirt. So all in all, it's not all that bad. Let's go toward the weekend. Still looking dry on Saturday. Temperatures will be pretty warm there in the lower 80s. We head towards Sunday and we'll creep toward 80, but we'll add some clouds in there. And that 40% chance of rain is really toward late in the day. We're talking evening, nighttime hours as of right now. Maybe a couple of showers during the afternoon, but for the most part, the bulk of it comes during the time once the sun sets. So for the most part, any events going on, you got the Burgoo Festival going on there in Lawrenceburg in Anderson County. Most of the weekend's going to be good for you guys. And honestly, during Sunday, I don't see a chance of rain for you guys there in Anderson. It's more for your southeast. So the World Chicken Festival, yeah, that's something to watch for as we go throughout the weekend. So there's your look. UK games going on later on that evening on Saturday. Any tailgating happening. It'll be warm, but it will be sunny. So enjoy and get out there and root them on. We are going to snap a 17-game losing streak. I'm calling it right now. We're going to do it. I believe in these guys. They really turn some things around. I know I'm the weather guy, but I've watched football all my life. I'm from the state of Alabama.
I was going to say, right, you have some credentials, street cred, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. But they look good, man. I'm excited to see them win their first SEC game.
Should be a good game tomorrow.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's 4:45 right now. We all want our kids to be successful in the classroom.
As Mom's Everyday correspondent Katie Kunkel explains, their success depends on you.
Hello, I'm Katie Kunkel. How well your child does in school significantly depends on how involved you are. Studies show that kids whose parents are involved in their education do better in school. Parenting.org has several ways you can set up your child for classroom success. First, establish effective communication with your child's school. Don't wait until there's a problem. Compliment your teacher if your child is doing well. Ask questions during school activities and join the PTA or volunteer. Next, consistently and frequently encourage and guide your child. Talk about homework and what's going on in the classroom. Praise and reward school successes. Lastly, display a love of learning at home. Ask questions, exchange ideas, and fuel your child's curiosity. For more tips to make mom's life easier, visit momseveryday.com.
For these tips and more, go to WKYT.com. Click on Moms Every Day.
Hey, good morning. Good to have you along. WKYT this morning on the air at 4:46 on your Friday.
After the break, a South Carolina state trooper may face felony charges after he shot an unarmed man. We'll have the latest after this.
Welcome back in. 4:49 our time now.
After 6 years on the job, Eric Holder is stepping down. He's one of the few original members of President Barack Obama's cabinet.
The president thanked Holder for his service at the White House event yesterday. Obama recognized Holder's contributions to his cabinet and his more than 26 years of working at the U.S. Justice Department. His nearly 6-year tenure as head of the Justice Department was marked by highs like civil rights enforcement and lows like the controversial Fast and Furious program that unintentionally put weapons in the hands of Mexican drug cartels. Memo showed he was aware of that operation for close to a year. He will remain in his post until a successor is confirmed by the Senate.
Well, a traffic stop quickly devolved into a shooting when a driver reached back into his car for his license. Misinterpreting his actions, a South Carolina Highway Patrol trooper opened fire. Martin Savage has the story.
A dash cam rolls as a South Carolina state trooper stops a man for driving without a seatbelt, asking for his license.
Can I see your license, please? Get out of the car! Get out of the car!
In seconds, it goes horribly wrong as 31-year-old trooper Sean Grubert shoots an unarmed 35-year-old LeVar Jones from just feet away. It happens so fast, you almost wonder what really happened. So here it is again. It's roughly 5 p.m., September 4th, at a gas station just outside Columbia. As the officer pulls up, Jones is exiting an SUV. Off camera, Grubert asks to see his license. As Jones reaches back into the vehicle, Grubert bursts into view, gun drawn, shouting, then shooting.
Get out of the car! Get out of the car!
Firing at least 4 times. Once, even as a now shot, Jones staggers backwards, hands raised. Now listen to the conversation between the bewildered and wounded Jones and the officer.
What did I do, sir?
Are you hit?
I think so. I can't feel my leg. I don't know what happened. I just grabbed my leg.
Brakes on 866. I need a 1052.
Why did you shoot me?
Well, you dove head first back into your car.
I'm sorry.
Amazingly, Jones only suffered a hip wound and was treated and released. Meanwhile, Friday, Grubert was fired, and now ex-trooper Grubert is charged with felony assault and battery. We reached out to his attorney, but he did not return our call. There is a sad irony to all of this. Just last year, Trooper Sean Grubert was hailed a hero after shooting a gunman who had opened fire in a bank parking lot. For that, he was given South Carolina's Medal of Valor. But after this latest shooting, if he's found guilty, he could be given 20 years in prison. Martin Savage, CNN, Atlanta.
Tough stuff there. Well, the shooting happened a few weeks ago, but the trooper was only recently taken off the force. That trooper now, as you heard it, faces felony charges. Well, a special grand jury announced that no criminal charges will be filed in a deadly police shooting in a Walmart last month. The surveillance video of John Crawford the night he was shot and killed was also released. Later, police found Crawford was only carrying a toy rifle. A grand jury decided there should be no criminal charges filed in connection to the incident. A state special prosecutor says officers reasonably believed they were responding to an active shooter situation.
Our time this morning is 4:53. It's good to have you with us on WKYT as we're off and rolling toward the weekend. And in just a moment, a look at some of the stories we're working on this morning.
And we'll also have a look at your weekend forecast.
Good morning. Welcome back in. Our time is 4:56 on WKYT.
It's time to take a look at some of the stories we're working on this morning.
Lexington utility crews right now at the scene of an overnight water main break. It happened about 12:30 this morning, and residents say their homes may have taken on some water damage. We'll have a full report from the scene coming up on WKYT News in just a bit at 5.
Lexington police are looking for suspects after they say a man was intentionally hit by a car. Police say it happened after 2 men got into an argument on Highland Parkway last night.
And Micah says it looks really good for today and tomorrow, ahead of maybe some changes as we head toward next week. And let's check in with him now in our First Alert Weather Center.
Yeah, they're not huge changes, but you're exactly right. They're changes. I mean, we really haven't seen much go on the past few days. And look, today's really not going to change. I mean, we're going to see a lot of sunshine and also slightly warmer temperatures. Yesterday, we actually did finish off around 80 degrees, and that looks to be the case again today, tomorrow, and maybe even on Sunday, too. 50s and 60s this morning, that's a change. I mean, we're not waking up with 40s at all. So it's not that cool as we head throughout the day. Heading in toward the afternoon, we're right there around 80 degrees. We'll talk much more on this forecast as we go throughout the next couple of days in your weekend forecast. We do have a slight change there. I'll show you that coming up another 2 hours. WKYT News.